Hey there, this is Women on the Brink. I'm your host, Chris Jeffrey, a registered acupuncturist and wellness advisor with a passion for helping women live happier and more balanced lives. When I'm away from work, I'm usually outside in nature, either walking the seawall or I'm hiking in the mountains. And like many of you, my life has been filled with moments of hardship, some that I thought I couldn't overcome and really left me questioning my own strength. But through these challenges, I discovered resilience, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. So I'm here to share not just my journey, but the lessons I've learned, and to remind you that no matter what obstacles come your way, there's always a path forward. And just to let you know, this podcast is not prescriptive, it's an offering. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So, welcome back to Women on the Brink. Today, we're talking about something that sounds simple, but is actually one of the most powerful forces that we have, and that is kindness, especially the kind that moves us into volunteer work. And I'm going to say something a little bold here. Volunteering is actually a selfish act in the best, most heart expanding way possible. Because in my experience, as someone who volunteered before I had kids, and again after raising kids, I can say this with complete honesty. I've always received far more than I ever gave. You know, people appreciate you so deeply when you show up for them or support their organization. And it makes you feel really fucking good about yourself in a way that's genuine and not ego driven. It's almost like a soul reset. You walk away thinking, wow, I made a difference. And that feels really, really nourishing. But here's something I've also realized too, and I want to say this very gently. When you help people who are going through something harder than what you're facing, you naturally gain perspective. And that's not in a condescending way, it's in a very humbling, heart opening way. You start to see your own life through a softer, more grateful lens. And volunteering really grounds you. It kind of reminds you that, okay, things might not be perfect, but I'm okay. I have resources, I have support, I have choices. And this shifts your energy from scarcity to appreciation. And I think that's part of why, kindness feels so good. It reconnects us to our own humanity. But here's the challenge in cities. Kindness has to be intentional. People used to live in smaller communities, maybe 100 families where you knew everyone and you'd know who was struggling and who needed a meal, who lost a loved one, who was celebrating a win. I mean, right? That's community. Today, people can disappear in plain sight. You can live next door to someone for 5 years and have no idea if they're thriving or barely hanging on. And this really hit me the other day. I was listening to the radio in the car, and this woman called in saying that she hadn't been to this nearby cafe, but she was encouraging everybody to go and support this small cafe. And you could hear the fatigue in her voice. And the radio spokesperson said, "So why haven't you been to the cafe?" And she said, "Oh, I don't really have a life right now." And she kept kind of repeating that. And then all of a sudden, all these calls flooded in and people wanted to make sure that she was actually okay. And I thought, wow, this is great. This is what kindness and compassion really looks like. Just noticing that someone is going through something and paying attention. So later that day, I called the station myself and I said, "Hey, listen, here's my number. Pass it on to her. I'll take her out for coffee. Maybe she just needs someone to talk to, or maybe she needs a moment of connection." I mean, and what does it cost me to spend a couple of hours giving someone else a sense of being seen? That's volunteering. It's not always a formal role or a weekly commitment. Sometimes it's just showing up for a stranger, right? And listen, I am definitely not here to guilt anyone into volunteering. There's a season of giving and a season of surviving. So when my kids were little, the only volunteering I ever did was at their school because I felt stretched pretty thin. And I remember once I tried donating blood at the hospital. The nurse sent me home and she looked at me and she said, "Listen, you need your blood more than anyone here." And she was absolutely right. I was exhausted. So please, don't volunteer if you're exhausted or if you're drowning, okay? Volunteer when life feels a little empty or you're lacking some purpose. Or maybe you just want to feel connected. Or maybe you feel stuck or lost or not good enough. Or maybe you have space, even a small space, to offer something to somebody. Because volunteering has this sneaky spiritual effect. It pulls you out of your head and back into your heart. And it really reminds you of what you're capable of. And it reconnects us to gratitude and gives us the experience of being part of something bigger. And always choose something that aligns with who you are. So for me right now, that means supporting unhoused youth here in Vancouver. I feel called to it. At other times in my life, it's been something completely different. The causes evolve as we do. But whatever you choose something that lights up your values. So in closing, kindness is not a small thing. It's not soft or passive or naive. It's probably one of the most radical, grounding, community building acts we have left. So if you're feeling disconnected or lonely or unsure of your purpose, try volunteering. Not because other people need saving, but because you might be the reminder that you still have something beautiful to offer. And when you help others, gently, humbly, without expectation, you also help yourself because you feel connected, you feel human, you feel grateful. And honestly, that's the quiet miracle of kindness. So before we go today, I just want to share with you something that I'm really excited about. So in 2026, I'll be offering a 12-week stress reset program on Zoom for a small, intimate group of women. And I mean, you may be wondering, like, why 12 weeks? That's because for real change to take place, we need time. We need space to integrate new information, unwind old patterns, and actually build the habits that create a calmer and more resilient nervous system. So each week you'll get a focused lesson, practical tools, guided exercises, and ongoing support to help you shift from surviving to truly thriving. So if you're curious and you want to explore whether this program is a good fit for you, just reach out. I'd love to connect and answer any questions you have. And next week, we're diving headfirst into the chaos that is online dating, the land of men holding fish, blurry bathroom selfies, and I'm not like other guys, and the occasional spiritual leader who lives with his mother. And I'm bringing on someone who has survived this landscape long enough to probably earn a medal. She's got stories, and I mean real, raw, ridiculous stories, the kind that make you laugh and cringe and wonder how humanity is still functioning. So it's going to be spicy, unfiltered, and probably a little inappropriate in the best possible way. So pour yourself a drink. You're probably going to need one. Thanks for joining. And I want you to know that this isn't just a podcast. This is a movement. So share this information with your friends and let's go, ladies.